All right, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're talking with Paulie Z, the founder of Rock Guitar Mastery Course, and I want to thank you for joining us. And tell us a little bit about the course and what somebody can expect from it.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. So the course it's a multi-level course in the sense that it hits from various different angles. If you're a beginner, right, and you want to start playing right away, the thing that I find that is the biggest pitfall with people that are starting out to play is that they lose interest, right? Like right away, they start learning, they got to learn scales, they got to learn chords, and you have to learn that, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, when you pick up the guitar, when I picked up the guitar as a kid, I wanted to play songs. I wanted to play the riffs that I love. I wanted to get right into it. And I wanted to learn the other stuff as well, but I didn't want to wait 6 months before I played my first song. So what's great about this program is that it lets you play right away. So if you're a beginner and you really can only handle, let's say, some very basic concepts, right? You're just starting out. I broke down that there's a 3-level system here where the songs that you're learning have like level 1, which is like a simplified version. And that's for those beginners that can just play right away. And now you're playing riffs, and they're simple, but they're cool. They sound like, hard rock, classic hard rock riffs. Then as you get better, then the riffs and the songs get a little bit more complicated. So now you introduce new concepts, new rhythms, more complex chords. And then level 3 is the sort of advanced, which is the way the song would normally sound. And what I did was I created songs that were in the style of some of the most famous classic rock bands, bands like Zeppelin and Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, bands like that, AC/DC. And the idea is that to entice people to want to be able to play right away, something that sounds like, a song that they would be listening to their whole life. So he gets right into it. And that for me is one of the things that I really love the most about it, because all the people that have taken the course, they love the fact that they're playing day one. They're already playing a riff, and they're like, oh, cool. And you want to show your friends. You want to show people. You're proud. You're like, hey, look at me. You show your wife. You show your buddy, and you're like, check this out. And it's the coolest feeling in the world. Then you start getting deeper and deeper, deeper. But now the motivation is there. That's the thing. You don't lose interest. I think that's the biggest thing, is keeping people interested, in what they're doing.
Now, somebody takes your course, and let's say, for instance, they're watching the video, and I took the course. If you get stuck, I thought this was interesting, that let's say it's a technique issue, you can actually go down, look down in the below, and you'll see whether it's a bend, right? There was bends and things of that sort. You can actually go down below, it's hard to explain it, and see videos that are based upon the technique, and you can go ahead and watch that and learn that if you get stuck. So in other words, from what I understand in the lesson is, even if you get stuck, there's a resource to pick up where you might have fallen off, which is
Right,
great.
because the thing is, again, the whole point of the program is to get you going right away. You know what I mean? And like, it's not like, okay, in 6 months you got all all the foundational tools, and now we're going to start playing a song. I want you playing a song right away. But as you go, because you just, you don't know these things, you're going to fall off. You're going to go this way, you're going to go that way. So you need to have that backup so that you can say, oh, wait a second. I don't quite understand how to play that chord or that technique, like a bend. So
Yeah.
then you go to that video, and then you can just focus on that technique. Once you have it, say, okay, I'm ready. I get back on track, and I'm playing my songs, So that's the whole point of that, is that I never want anyone to feel lost, confused, and or like they're off the path,
Right. Tell my audience real quickly about the whole playing with the band thing, which I've never seen in a course before. I think it's a great opportunity to feel like you're actually playing with the band, but you're learning at the same time. What can they expect from that sort of segment inside your course?
Well, I'm glad you noticed that, because that was another big thing. When I put this together, like at first I was a little hesitant, because I've said there's so much out there. What do I have to contribute that's different? I don't want to just add to the sea of guitar programs and lessons. And so some of these things, like the 3-level learning system, the Rhythm Iser, which we can talk about in a second, and this playing jam with the band concept, these are things that I feel that people enjoy and people want to do. I thought back to when I was a kid, right? And I was learning guitar. when I first started, my first teacher, he was a really nice guy, nothing against him, but he was teaching me things like Twinkle Little Star and the Star Spangled Banner and stuff like that. I didn't want to play that. Like I picked up the guitar to play, you know, Zeppelin and Kiss and Guns N' Roses. And it wasn't until the first time I played with people from school, friends of mine, that I really came alive. You know, playing with other people, even if it's on a video, it doesn't matter, but feeling like you're connecting to other people musically, to me, that's what it's all about, you know, and playing music you like. So here you get to learn these songs that are in the style of, again, bands that we all love. Now you have the simple version, level 1, 2, or 3, and no matter what level you're at, you can play along with the band because we recorded jam tracks live in a studio at each level, which is great because if you're advanced and you want to play along with us and you're playing all those really tricky rhythms, it's cool because you're actually playing with a band. You know, listen, a metronome is great, don't get me wrong, and you need to learn with a metronome too. But I mean, you know, let's be honest, it's boring. No one wants to sit there with a click, click, click for hours when you can play with, you know, guys.
You learn better, I think, that way, playing with other people. That's really how you learn faster.
And that's where you get the feel. That's the other thing. You know, it's a feel thing and it's a vibe thing. You know, and we have all 3 levels. So even if you're a beginner, which is great, you can start playing with us right away.
So the Rhythm Iser, that is a unique term that you coined?
Yes.
Okay. So what is it about the Rhythm Iser that makes that really and such an important component to playing just in general? What is it that what was your intention with that term, that idea?
Well, it came from the idea that I felt like something was missing in the world of tab. Tablature is an amazing, amazing invention. I mean, like, oh, we're so lucky that it was created, because for all the people that don't read traditional music, like a lot of rock and pop musicians, you know, they had nothing else to do. Everything had to go by ear. And then all of a sudden, tablature gave you the notes right there. It said, oh, put 2nd fret, 3rd string. Oh, okay. Anybody can teach themselves how to play a song or a riff through tab. The problem is that traditional music shows you the note, what to play, but it also shows you how to play it. You know what I mean? So someone who's reading actual music, they not only know the note, but they know the rhythm. Is it a quarter note? Is it an eighth note? Is it a 16, a triplet? Tablature doesn't show you that. And what I find, and I see it all the time, what I find is a lot of people who teach themselves with tab, they miss out such an important part, which is the rhythm. So they're playing the riff, you know, they're playing Smoke on the Water, but they're a little bit ahead, they're a little bit behind, they're not holding the note as long, or they're holding it too short. And then they wonder, why do I sound like a, you know, like a kind of cheap bar band versus the actual real thing? And to me, the missing component is the rhythm. So I came up with this concept called the Rhythm Iser, which is just the name I gave it to make it, you know, I got to give it a name. And it's a tabbed out version of rhythm. So just the way you would look at tab to see where the notes are, here you were counting. I'm teaching people how to count and actually say it before they play it. So if you can say the rhythm of the whatever you're going to play, then you try to play it, it's a world of difference. It really is. And then all of a sudden, I love when students have that aha moment. They're like, oh my God, that sounds right. I said, well, of course, because you're playing it right.
Puts it in perspective. Right.
Of course. So I think that's an incredibly important part that I feel is missing in contemporary guitar education. You know what I mean? Unless you have a teacher one-on-one and they're showing you, when you're trying to show yourself or doing a program, you have to have the rhythmic part to it. And I wanted to make it easy. I wanted people to be able to just read it with numbers. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. You know what I mean? And that's what the Rhythm Iser is. It breaks it down very simply.
Yeah, really helpful.
Yep.
Are there any other features about the program that our audience can learn from that you really want to drive home?
Yeah, I would say some of the other things that I think are really cool about this program is, one, you get the tablature that has not only the regular tab right now, which people are used to, but the Rhythm Iser. So that's something you're not going to see anywhere else. So I think having that tablature that you can follow along and all the chord charts and everything is there for you so you don't get lost, I think that's one of the highlights. Also, like you said, having all the videos kind of categorized. So if you just want to learn techniques, you can go to the technique section. If you want to learn exercises or warm-ups, you go to that section. You know, if you're like, I want to learn some new chords, some fancier chords, you go to the chords section. So everything's very, very organized, because I like to be organized.
Mhm.
The other thing is that you can play this with acoustic or electric. Even though I'm using electric in the program, it applies to acoustic as well. And actually learning this stuff on acoustic would be really helpful, because if you can play it on acoustic, it'll be a lot easier on electric. So it doesn't matter what you have, acoustic or electric. And the other thing I wanted to say is, like, it's entertaining, it's fun. Like a lot of the videos, especially the ones where we do the jam tracks and the original songs that are in the style of those other bands, I'm doing it with my brother. And my brother and I have a chemistry. He passed a few years ago, 3 years
I'm
ago,
sorry to
and
hear that.
so
Yeah.
so this was, for me, was important to, that this was one of the last things I did with him as far as a
Yeah.
project. So it has obviously a lot of special place in my heart. But the chemistry we had, as you can see, as you went through the program, it's like, it's fun. We joke around. It's entertaining. It's not boring. I didn't want it to be boring. I want people to want to turn the video on, not only to learn, but because they fall in love with the vibe, with us. They want to, like, feel like they're in the room with us. So I think that personality comes through. I feel like that's a big part of the program as well. It has its own personality, and you can start playing right away. Like, that's my big thing. I'm like, first time you turn it on, by the end of that, in that first session, you're playing something right away. And to me, that's the most important, because I've worked with hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands by this point, 22 years, do the math. And the biggest problem I see is people lose interest. They do it for 2 weeks, they do it for 3 weeks. It's like working out. They get excited, I'm going to learn guitar. And it's like, very few people take it to the end. And a lot of time, as teachers, it's our job to nurture that spark. You know what I mean? There's a little spark, and we have to nurture it. We have to build it. We have to be very careful to keep people, excited about what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I think all these things are present in the program, and very proud of it.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to speak with me about the program. And for those that are interested, I do have a link in the description box. And I want to let you guys know that I've done other programs before, but this one in particular is different, unique. And if you're looking to see results quickly, this is definitely a great way to do it, because of the training that's involved in it. So I definitely appreciate your time, Paulie. And thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric.
All right, we'll see you real soon.
Happy playing.